My name is Helen Cowie. I'm a Professor Emeritus at the University of Surrey in the UK. Well, the thing I've been most active in doing in the field of SEL and also in the field of bullying is to work with peer support, to train people in peer support, to train teachers, to facilitate it, to train young people to practice it, and to do research evaluating its effectiveness. So I really have spent many years actively promoting peer support. Well, peer support is where children and young people help one another when they're experiencing social and emotional difficulties in the school setting. And specifically, the area I've worked on is where children are being bullied. And they perhaps feel reluctant to go to a teacher, perhaps don't want to tell their parents, but they could turn to another child or young person. And over the years, we've trained many peer supporters and influenced other trainers who now disseminate it. So it's pretty well widespread in UK schools in one form or another. I think it's been very well established. I think my vision for the future is that it will link in more positively and actively with the wider field of restorative practices in schools, because I think all the evidence is that it's not just one intervention that works. You need a lot of interconnected interventions that are promoting the same sort of message and maybe addressing different kinds of problems. So you'd have conflict resolution, peer support, conferencing, restorative approaches throughout the school, not only in the field of bullying, of course, but in other domains. So my vision for the future would be that schools are places where children and young people experience a restorative approach, where it's possible, after you've done something hurtful or harmful, as we all do, to make amends, to apologise, to perhaps give something back, and to reflect on what you've done, why you've done it, what the impact of it was, and to think, is that what I want to do in the future? And I think if we could disseminate that as widely as possible through schools, we know that children take these ideas home to their families and practice it when there are conflicts in their families, as there are every day. And I think we would disseminate it throughout the country. Well, after global seminars like this, possibly throughout the world. That would be my vision. I think social and emotional learning helps people to be more reflective about what they do and why they do it. It's likely to promote empathy for other people's feelings, and it's likely to make people think about the consequences of their actions and problem solve on ways in which to make their community, their school community, a more pleasant place in which to work and learn and make friends. The most widely spread used definition of bullying is that it's a situation where a person or persons deliberately and over time, repeatedly, enact behaviour designed to make another person hurt emotionally, psychologically, or physically. Because bullying isn't only between the perpetrator and the target, because whenever that happens, there's always an audience. And it's how that audience of bystanders behave that will determine whether the victim remains in victim role, sometimes for a very long time, or whether they're enabled to escape from that role. And the bystanders can be very much influenced by the group. So where you have a school where the ethos is towards friendliness, cooperation, social and emotional awareness, then the bystanders are much more likely to intervene, either by challenging the bully in many ways, by supporting the victim, and by actively expressing their dislike of this way of relating to one another.